Thank you guys so much for this award. I'm truly honored and humbled to be receiving this in a category full of so many amazing women who had outstanding years and performances. I'm honestly shocked.
Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone just caught the sports world completely off guard, and this time it had nothing to do with a finish line. Fans expected another record, another dominant race. Instead, Sydney made moves away from competition that sparked surprise, debate, and admiration all at once. Her recent decisions, public actions, and carefully chosen words are shifting how people view elite athletes, success, and balance. What she's doing off the track may end up being just as impactful as anything she's ever done on it. And let's start with what she did on the track in 2025. Sydney made history once again by becoming the first athlete to win world titles in both the 400 meters flat and the 400-meter hurdles.
No woman has run this fast for 40 years!
She not only took gold in Tokyo at the World Championships, she did it by smashing a 42-year-old championship record, running 47.78 in the 400 meters, the second fastest time in history.
McLaughlin-Levrone for history. She's driving for the line, and she's done it!
And if that wasn't enough, she anchored Team USA to victory in the 4x400-meter relay with a 47.82 split on a rain-soaked track, helping her team set a meet record of 3 minutes 16.61 seconds. It was a moment of track glory, but what followed would stun even her most dedicated fans. Off the track, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone became the story of the season. She was named World Athlete of the Year for the second time in her career, taking home the honor in a year stacked with talent. But it wasn't the award itself that raised eyebrows, it was her speech. Sydney spoke with deep humility, saying she was honestly shocked to win and that she didn't even feel deserving. She used her moment not to boast, but to praise her coach, husband, therapist, and team, showing the world that her strength isn't just physical, it's spiritual and emotional too. "There are hundreds of people helping me," she said. "I know I am one person running on the track, but there has been an army behind me." In a sport driven by personal bests, Sydney was setting new standards in vulnerability and grace. She opened up about self-doubt, about pushing herself beyond comfort zones, and about what it takes mentally to stay at the top. She credited her support system, her coach Bobby Kersee, performance director Malachi Davis, her family, and her husband Andre Levrone Jr. for keeping her grounded. It's this off-the-track strength that has captivated audiences everywhere. In 2024, she released her autobiography, Far Beyond Gold, Running from Fear to Faith. More than a memoir, the book was a bold act of transparency. Sydney didn't just detail her training and medals. She revealed her internal battles, faith struggles, pressure from media, and the loneliness of elite competition. It wasn't just a runner's story, it was a spiritual journey that inspired thousands. She said the goal of the book was to encourage others to do the same, sharing their truths and leaning on faith. The book was met with praise from athletes, faith-based communities, and mental health advocates. It appeared on Christian bestseller lists and was featured in outlets like Sports Illustrated and the 700 Club for its candid storytelling. In an era where athletes are often boxed into highlight reels and sound bites, Sydney's decision to reveal her humanity was rare and shocking. But the surprises didn't stop there. While she had already proven she could dominate the 400-meter hurdles, many questioned her move to flat 400-meter races. But she didn't just silence the critics, she torched the track. In September 2025, she ran a U.S. record 48.29 in the semifinal, then followed it with the jaw-dropping 47.78 in the final. Her transition wasn't just successful, it was history-making. And if you thought she'd stay in her lane, think again. Sydney stunned fans by entering the 100-meter hurdles at a Grand Slam track meet, finishing 5th. While it wasn't a win, it was a statement. She's not afraid to fail publicly. She's willing to step outside her specialty and experiment, a rare mindset for someone already at the top. This wasn't about winning another medal. It was about challenging herself, showing that growth doesn't always come with gold. Her presence in Grand Slam track, the brainchild of legend Michael Johnson, was another unexpected twist. She joined the league for the 2025 season, committing to race in the long hurdles and 400-meter events. Her involvement gave the new track league instant legitimacy. When Sydney shows up, people watch. And that matters in a sport constantly fighting for attention. Then came another moment that made headlines around the world. At the Diamond League Finals in Brussels in 2024, Sydney was slated to run both the 200 meters and 400 meters. But just one day before the events, Diamond League organizers ruled her ineligible due to not meeting the season's minimum participation requirements. Many saw it as bureaucratic overreach. Sydney didn't complain. Instead, she competed in pre-program events and still clocked winning times of 22.40 in the 200 meters and 49.11 in the 400 meters. No points, no prize money, no fanfare, just grit. And that's the recurring theme with Sydney. Whether she's setting a world record, dominating a new distance, or being disqualified over red tape, she shows up. She performs, and she does it with elegance. But perhaps the most shocking aspect of her journey is how young she still is, only 26, and already considered one of the greatest ever. She holds the world record in the 400-meter hurdles, 50.37, the American record in the 400-meter flat, 47.78, and is on an unbeaten streak that spans years. She's the only woman ever to run under 51 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles. And yet, she talks less about medals and more about faith, resilience, and gratitude. She's also helped shift how we talk about mental health in athletics. She's not afraid to talk about the emotional toll of competition, the anxiety that can come with fame, or the work it takes to stay focused. In doing so, she's become a role model not just for sprinters, but for anyone navigating high-pressure environments. She has even spoken at youth conferences and mental health panels, emphasizing the importance of therapy, emotional support, and a balanced life. What sets Sydney apart isn't just what she's done, it's how she's done it. Unlike many top athletes who lean into brash confidence, Sydney leads with calm conviction. She embraces her faith publicly, never hiding the role spirituality plays in her success. In a time when most of sports culture avoids talk of God, she boldly credits her achievements to divine guidance. She also brings humility to a world obsessed with numbers and dominance. At press conferences, she often deflects praise, instead focusing on how others have supported her. In interviews, she speaks more about her growth as a person than her medals. In public appearances, she encourages young athletes to define themselves beyond times and titles. Sydney's off-the-track influence also stretches into community work. From volunteering with Hurricane Sandy relief efforts to working with Hope Worldwide in Central Jersey, she's used her platform to uplift others. Even as a high schooler, she was balancing academics, athletic training, and activism. Recently, she began exploring mentorship programs for young female athletes, partnering with foundations to provide resources, workshops, and inspiration for the next generation. She has also started speaking at local schools and youth organizations, sharing personal lessons on discipline, faith, and self-worth, messages that deeply resonate with young audiences and aspiring athletes. And while other athletes chase viral moments, Sydney remains quietly consistent. No gimmicks, no scandals, just excellence. Whether she's training, writing, or giving back, she does so with the same discipline that made her a world champion. As we look toward 2026, Sydney is already promising more boundary-pushing performances. She's hinted at taking on even more challenging doubles, experimenting with more short hurdles, and maybe even the 800-meter. With her mindset and versatility, nothing seems off-limits. So yes, Sydney McLaughlin just shocked the world, but not by doing what she's always done. She shocked the world by changing what it means to win, by stepping off the track and still standing tall, by reminding us all that greatness is not just about records, but about the courage to evolve.